Chief Umpire Richard Phelps, the regatta this year. Well, they really jumped on it, KCS Wimbledon, didn't they?
They were straight on it, yeah. You can tell they were medal experience in National Schools Regatta there, and already slipped out to maybe a canvas quite quickly.
This has been a fantastic season for the KCS Wimbledon. We're riding with Canford School there. Stroke Archie Gardner, 19 years of age. Been rowing for 9 years, so since he was 10. What a story that is for a 19-year-old. I didn't start till I was about 13 or 14. I don't know about you, Adrian.
He's had a rowing career already. And here we can see KCS moving out to just over a canvas. Really nice long rhythm there, clean blade work. They really benefited from that first start.
Yeah, this has been a great year, magical year for KCS rowing, and welcome to all those watching at the schools, whether it's at KCS and you're watching now after school's finished, or maybe you've gone home and you're watching your school on the telly. Canford School, welcome to anyone from Canford School watching here. We're seeing this heat of the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup, and KCS Wimbledon are certainly munching off the start. They are really powering away. Clear water lead over the lads from Canford School, and we're still coming through to what, the first 500 metres, Adrian?
Yeah, probably not even that yet. And here Canford School still rowing a nice long rhythm and managing to deal with the conditions pretty well with their matching sunglasses. I'm sure that was a decision the crews went out and brought that together. Yeah. But yeah, you can see they're really just struggling a bit with the wind, the boat's rolling around a little bit, whereas the KCS we saw earlier, much more stable platform, just really rowing out into the wind.
Tom Monaghan furthest away from us up in the bows, the 18-year-old Sam Scone, Tom Corbett, Nicholas Olroyd, Kevin Gobelman, Zach Day, Ben Lundy, Alex Forbes, the strokes, and Fleur Blaze. I think I've just gone through the KCS crew. Apologies if you were expecting me to go through the Canford crew. KCS, the crew on the right of your picture, Canford School, just trailing by about, well, a length and a half. There's the KCS crew, there's Alex Forbes in the stroke seat.
You can see the contrast, can't you, here? The guys are just a bit more powerful and they're able to deal with the conditions. It's much more horizontal and flat.
Alex Forbes in the stroke seat, I mean, what rowing heritage he's got. His mum's Robin Morris, who's a British lightweight, and his dad was Stuart Forbes, who's won here in the Wyfold Challenge Cup 3 times and was a fantastic stroke man for Nottingham County Rowing Association. So what heritage. And I gather the lad is off to Harvard, is it, this year?
I think he's off to Harvard next year.
Yeah.
So good luck to him over there. But here, very relaxed crew there, really great rhythm. I mean, Paddy Duggan's been doing a great job with the school, just developing the program year on year on year. And they won their first gold medal, I think, this year in was it the Coxless Fours, the national schools? 4 of the guys from this crew.
Yeah. So there we see the Canford crew. That's Archie Gardner in the stroke seat, closest to us with those shades on. Back to us, Imogen Woodcock, Henry Barnum. Behind Archie in the 7th seat, the big man, Daniel Coote in the 6th seat, just trying to power his boat back into contention. Benji Bishop, Oliver Stewart, Aaron Samara, Jackson Kennett, and Ben Shaw right up in the bow seat. Ben looks like he's in a race, doesn't he, up in the bow seat? He's hanging on there.
Certainly is, really putting it down there for the crew. It's great when these athletes still keep trying as hard as they can despite being down. You never know what's going to happen. You've got to keep yourself in the race.
Big day for Canford School. It's a lovely school. The River Stour runs right along its grounds there. Director of rowing, Ian Dryden. This crew is, though, coached by Will Moreland. And
he plays American football, if I heard.
Does he?
Yeah.
Unusual.
In his free time.
Good knowledge. And Anastasia Chitty, who rode in the boat race this year. She'd never before lost until she came up against Cambridge in this women's boat race. She is an alumnus of Canford School.
It's a great view down the course here, can't you? You can see one of the markers on the left-hand side of the course here, the 3/4 mile post. And coming down all the tents on the left-hand side. All seems very serene, but in the middle of the course, the athletes are pounding away here.
We have to talk about this King's College School 8, that bronze medal at national schools behind Eton and St Edwards, which was a fantastic achievement. It's great to get into the final of national schools, but to medal is a real achievement, particularly for a school like KCS Wimbledon. And not only that, but some of the boys got through the British junior selection system and they went to the Munich Regatta, where they raced against a lot of other European juniors and came back with 6 medals between 4 of them, I gather.
Yeah, they had a very good weekend out there, and also the amount of experience you gain from going to race international competition, it really must be beneficial when you come back to rowing in your school crew.
So these guys, you know, pretty much at the top of their game. How far do you reckon they can go in this regatta, Adrian?
I think with the results they've had in national schools, you've got to say they've got to at least have a chance to make Saturday. And then depending on how well they row and any other foreign competition, it's hard to tell, because as the weekend progresses, I think it's one of the hardest events for juniors because they have to race so often, and most of the races are quite hard, and they don't have much training time because they're young, so they don't bounce back from races quite as much as the more mature Olympic athletes.
So just a thought there, Fleur Blaise, first female cox of KCS Wimbledon ever. What is she calling to the crew now? Is she calling for pressures on the? Is she calling some race plan as if they were actually, you know, neck and neck with the crew next door, or what is her focus on the calls now?
I think it's more likely just trying to make sure the guys are rowing properly and they've got the right kind of rhythm together. It's quite difficult because it's not something you deliberately talk about rehearsing being quite a long way up, because then you distract yourself from rowing properly. But it's quite easy to row badly when you're that far up and then just make it very heavy. But they seem to have done a good job of creating some sort of time. As you can see, when they finish, their bodies sit still for a while and let the boat carry on accelerating there.
Yeah,
and that makes it easy.
We love that stillness in the boat, that moment of stillness. Rowing looks like a continuous motion, but you can have just an instant of time of stillness. Just feel the boat move under you at the finish, and you see the hands come fluidly around the back turn.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? The body sits still, but the hands don't pause. The hands are continuous. Even if they're patient, the hands keep moving, but the body, you have a perception that they do stop.
He's smooth and slick, that bowman Tom Monaghan. You can see from there, his back closest to us, hands coming nicely around the finish. We look from our commentary position, there's just about 10 strokes to go now to the finish line, and the campaign, the account of King's School Wimbledon will be definitely open in the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. The challengers will know they've got a crew to reckon with, and this is the result of that very clinical row against Canford School. KCS Wimbledon, you can hear the buzzer as they cross the finish line. An easy paddle, sit the boat level, and yeah, a little fist pump there from Sam Scowen, the two-man. And they're watching a long way back. Canford School still probably got about another 15 strokes to go. And KCS were looking easy, but they really pulled it out on Canford, didn't they?
They did. They just had I think they had the horsepower and the confidence and the experience just to really create some good boat speed. Canford here racing all the way to the line.
So Canford just coming up to the line. Big day for them. Their day in the sun at Henley Regatta. Not quite sunny, I guess, but you know what I mean. Fantastic achievement for them. And sportingly, King's School Wimbledon, there's confirmation of the result. They beat Canford School, but sportingly they wait for Canford School to finish before they congratulate their opponents.